Welcome back to the Unexpected Hour, and today we're talking about season 7, episode 6, called Your Support Team of the hit TLC show Unexpected. We didn't have Bryce and Isabella this week, so I think maybe we jump off with Amaya.
Yeah, Maya and Jose. I feel this week we finally got an insight into something with them, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, they did show us a little bit more content about them, and it does seem like, real people and issues.
Yeah,
Something to
and
talk
I
about.
think what we kind of speculated before of them just being the most normal
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to say healthy because you're teenagers, but the most
Right.
average dynamic and the least dramatic. And I think that we kind of hit the nail on the head with that on why we're not seeing
Mm-hmm.
as much. Because the problems that they kind of went over, Jose has his job, he's in it, very normal thing. Amaya and her weight loss journey in relation to just being a woman and also pregnant, also something very relatable, but also very
Mm-hmm.
normal. And I
Yeah.
think we're starting to see why we're not seeing them a ton, but I do like to see them. I think that's good that they're showing them. They're on the show.
Yeah, it's showing like normal postpartum realities of difficulties with the physicalness of just having a baby, of weight gain related to pregnancy, of we're up all night because we have a baby, and financial problems and stuff like that. Like, it's all of the normal problems that people have when they have a baby, often anyway. And it just doesn't have any of the family drama that we're getting with all of the other facets of the show. There does not seem to be any family drama that we're seeing anyway.
Yeah, I will say we haven't seen anything about his side of the family, so that does
Mhm.
raise questions for me that I'm kind of hoping we'll see as time goes on. But for this one, Amaya and her mom took a journey out of the house to visit Jose at work because he works at a restaurant now. And they had a little bit of a chit chat on it's okay to not feel like you're knowing everything yet because she is a mom
Yeah.
and she's trying to figure out who she is moving forward, but also finding herself and her new role as an individual, but also as a mom.
Yes, and I think they were talking about some real stuff of Amaya feeling judged going out in public as a clearly a teenage mom and also as an overweight teenager, and just feeling like all eyes are on her and that she can be judged for different things happening. And I think that's understandable, and also I'm sure it's very intimidating at first to take a newborn out of the house, especially when you can't even drive yourself around. She's dependent on other people, and it's a huge adjustment that she's making. It's not just her and Jose going out anymore. But they do need to carve out some time to go out as a family and go out as a couple.
Oh, I totally agree. And they're still arguing about petty stuff, but I will say I think part of it really is like postpartum and things of that nature and just the anxiety of having a newborn
Mhm.
because one example we saw them arguing about is Jose wanted to like push the baby stroller and Amaya got upset and annoyed with him because
Yeah.
he races shopping carts and she's like he'll do that with the baby. No, he won't. Like I gotta kind of stick up for him. Like he has stepped up. He is getting a job. He's working hard. He takes care of everybody. Like he is doing everything he's being asked of. And
Mhm.
and I'm making the assumption that off camera, like he's getting up in the middle of the night. He's helping with the baby. Like it just gives those vibes. And it's interesting that they're fighting over something like that when it is kind of a little thing. You're feeling overwhelmed. It's okay to let the father of the child help you.
Yeah, but it's such a normal thing for
Yeah.
a mom of a newborn to be very protective. Also, dads do sometimes stereotypically are more playful, are more rough with babies than moms are. And if you just went through the whole process of growing and birthing a child and then you see the dad like messing around with the stroller even a little bit, it's like, "Hey, careful with that. that's my baby. It's our baby, but really a newborn is an extension of mom to a point.
Oh, for sure, but at least give him the opportunity first. Like,
Sure. I think he's just kind of a nudge, you know. He wants to be a little annoying. He said that's his love language.
yes.
And yeah,
But he's a
which
teenage boy. Like,
yeah,
what teenage boy isn't annoying?
everyone is annoying, but especially a teenage boy.
And I do
Yeah.
think, like, when you have that baby and that becomes the focus, like, you do really kind of put your relationship to the side, and they're kind of probably feeling that at this point where
Yeah.
they do need to make sure that they're working on their relationship in addition to their co-parenting, in addition to the baby and the family as a whole, because it's never going to work if you guys are constantly at each other's throats. And finding that balance is going to be difficult, but I do think they can do it.
I think so too. And I think Mama G is like very supportive of them. And I thought it was like really cute and good natured when she was kind of like joking around with Jose at work that, oh, like you're not going fast enough. Oh, the service is so slow here. Like that. It's just like very much like he's clearly part of the family. And
Yeah.
it's that's how you act kind of when you go somewhere and
Yeah.
someone you know is working there. It's like a little extra annoying. And it was funny. It was lighthearted. And she seems like she's genuinely proud of Jose. She did say that. She's proud of both of them because they are stepping up to the plate. They are taking care of the baby. They are taking care, making steps to financially figure things out. They're rising to the occasion in the ways they need to. So, um, in no small part, thanks to her support, obviously. But it's it's all normal problems. That's what I would say about their
Yeah.
normal, relatable problems.
Yeah, and I think the other part of it is I think she mentioned it was 60 pounds that she gained during the pregnancy, which is a
Mm-hmm.
lot for anybody. But when you're already in a bigger body, plus the extra 60 pounds, and now trying to heal and recover and then be uncomfortable in your own body, that's a lot to process. So I'm excited to kind of see how she approaches that as the episodes go on. If she makes moves on trying to address that, or if it's something we're just going to kind of talk about. Um, so it'll be interesting. But I hope she does whatever is best for her as a weight perspective and making herself
Mm-hmm.
feel confident again, because I think that's really what it is. I think it's less about the number that she added and more about the confidence that she's not feeling anymore, because we saw
Mm-hmm.
pictures from her past they kind of flashed up on the screen of different hair and outfits and like a vibe that she had that she didn't feel like she had anymore. And I think that's more about just the confidence of all these changes and changes in her life and her body
Yeah,
that she needs to get back. And she can do that at any size. um
definitely.
I just hope that like that's what she ends up focusing on and less about like a number on a scale, because it's how you feel with yourself every day that matters most.
Yeah, and I don't want to criticize Maya, but the wig that she wears in the Talking Heads is very it seems very different than her previous style before she had the baby. It's kind of like
Yeah.
dowdy. It's kind of something that maybe a 50-year-old would wear, not a
It feels like I had
16-year-old.
a baby. This is a mom wig.
It's a mom wig, but it's okay, but you're a cute young girl. You don't need to wear a wig like that. And she looked
Yeah.
so much better with the braids. Like I feel like that would really maybe it's expensive, maybe money's tight. This is the wig that we have right now. I get it, but she looked way better with the braids, and I
I
think that maybe
agree.
that would be a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, hopefully we see that journey, but we'll see
Yeah,
as we go.
for sure. And that might not be top priority right now. I do understand that. But you feel better when your hair looks good, I think.
Well, yeah, like it's a weird thing that I think women everywhere kind of have,
Mhm.
where you have one thing about you that like that's your thing, and a lot of women it is their hair.
Yeah.
And it's amazing if you're like, oh, I did my hair today, I feel cute, versus like I put on makeup, well, that's just what I do every day. Like it just really kind of depends on the person. But I don't know, I think seeing a little bit more of them was really awesome, and I hope we continue to see that as a pattern, even if they're quote normal. I think it's good for the audience to see that.
Definitely, because it actually shows like the problems that they're having postpartum that make more sense that would happen to anyone as opposed to just like these bizarre family dramas, which is mostly what we're seeing in the other people.
Yeah. Speaking of bizarre family drama, uh, Bella and Hunter had their baby, and
He
the everyone was there but his dad.
oh, I
Everyone
know.
was there.
Everyone was there. The family is extremely involved, extremely supportive. The baby is cute, and I like the name Wesley.
Yes,
Like for
I
two
do too.
a 13 and a 15-year-old to come up with the name Wesley, that's actually normal and cute. I'm impressed. And newborns usually look horrifying, but Wesley was pretty cute immediately. They were stressing me
Yeah.
out when they weren't supporting his neck though. There was like multiple scenes of the kids holding him and just the neck is flopping all over the place. I'm like, "Oh, did no one show them how to hold a baby?" Hunter was
I think
actually not bad at it, but
no, I
Bella
was
was
gonna
had the
say
kid
Hunter
flopping.
actually did a real good
Bella had
job.
that kid flopping. And I was like, "Ooh."
No, I agree with the name, and then middle name is Christopher after her dad, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, the
And
dad was so cute with the baby also. He was,
yeah,
like, obviously really happy, excited that it was a boy. He said he tried 3 times for a boy, so I guess there's a 3rd sister that we're not seeing.
it's probably I think Bella's the youngest, so it's
Mm,
probably a much older kid because the other one's
yeah,
19, so the other one's probably out of the house living their life.
right.
And like, hey, I don't want to be associated with this.
Fair enough.
But I think one thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you picked up the same vibe, but this was kind of the first time we saw Chris vocalizing that he wasn't fully on board with everything and wasn't
Mhm.
fully happy. Like the moms, I feel like they've never wavered of like, yay, like baby, family, we're officially a one family now. And I think this is the first time we saw Chris. We saw a hint of it a couple episodes ago when he was in his living room, but this is the first time when we're like, he doesn't fully trust Hunter. He wasn't happy that this pregnancy happened. He doesn't support the way that the birth control is going on in this house, which I think is kind of
Ugh.
comical. This is like, he took that opportunity. He's like, y'all need to focus on the baby and not this dynamic of let's build a family at 15 and 13. Like, this should be the exception, not the norm. And you kind of saw him glimmer the like the truth I think that he feels that we haven't really seen much of.
Definitely. I also am pretty concerned. There doesn't seem to be a real plan for birth control after this. And I think abstinence is, like, the only real suggestion that makes any sense, but I don't think that's realistic in this suggestion, but she's saying that she can't take birth control because she might have side effects.
No,
And
she
then
just
Hunter
doesn't
doesn't
want to.
well, she doesn't want to, but the reason she's saying is because, "Oh, well, there's side effects and knowing my luck, I would get all of them," which is maybe true, but, like, probably a less of a side effect than having a baby,
But
which
there's
we've already
so
had
many
that side
different
effect.
kinds of birth control, like that you can go
But you
on
could at least
different
try
ones.
it.
Right.
Like
And each one has different side effects. There's different variations of different ones. Like there's not just like one pill and one IUD. Like there's so many.
right.
Like go through your options and figure it out because it's not like it gives the vibe of like I want more babies and I want them now. Not it
Oh
won't
my
happen to me
gosh.
again. It literally gives off vibes of like, no, we're just gonna have more kids. It's fine.
And Hunter doesn't want to wear condoms, so now he just doesn't have to. Is that what your takeaway was? Because that was my it wasn't even like a, "Well, he needs to suck it up." It was like, "Well, he's not going to." Uh,
Yeah, and the same thing with the birth control. Like Chris was the only one. Like, what do you mean you're not going on birth control? Both the moms were like, yeah, haha.
yeah, there are side effects. Okay, there are side effects, and she was saying Bella was saying, like, "Oh, well, I could track my ovulation." She was saying that she was doing that prior to this pregnancy. It doesn't sound like you're very good at it, And so maybe that's not a very reliable method for her. I do think some people could probably do that, and that's not an uncommon thing to do, like natural family planning, whatever. And if you do it correctly, it can be pretty effective. But I mean, in my opinion, this baby was intentional. So I don't think there was
Yeah.
any avoiding ovulation. So maybe she thinks that she could actually do it for birth control instead of for conception planning, and that it would work. And it might, but you have to be very consistent with that. And you have to be very organized and very on top of it, and also have the willpower and the communication skills to say, we can't do it right now. We can't do it for a couple of days. And I
And
just don't think
then
that's very realistic either.
right, and correct me if I'm wrong, like, after you have a baby, aren't you, like, particularly fertile for a while?
Yeah.
Like, this feels
Yeah.
like this should be an immediate plan, not a, "Oh, we'll get around to it" conversation. Like, this needs to go into effect, like, today.
Yeah, like if I was her doctor, if I was her parents, I would be very much pushing an IUD to be put in like at the 6-week mark, because I think we're running up against the clock before she's pregnant again.
Yeah. And then, of course, we to for consistency, she had to bring up some kind of weird sex thing in front of all the parents, and
Oh my
was
gosh.
I can't get over it every time it happens. Uh, Talking about how Hunter wants to do butt stuff, but she doesn't want to do butt stuff, but that is one way to avoid being pregnant. And I would slam my head against a wall. Like, I don't understand how this is such a nonchalant thing for her to just start talking about.
In front of her parents, on camera, on unexpected, and she's saying, "Oh, it's a one-way poop shoot." Like, this is embarrassing what you're saying. Also, your 13-year-old boyfriend does not need to already be doing anal sex. I think that maybe he should save a few experiences for when he's 16 or
14.
something. You know, like literally, his adulthood is going to be very dull because he's not going to have any new experiences.
Well,
He's
you
already had a
gotta also
kid, he's already
assume,
done butt
like,
sex.
boys on watching porn all over the place.
Uh,
Like,
I'm
this is where
sure.
it's all coming from and all of their quote kink lives. But again, if you're sharing a room and living together at this age, they're doing quote
Mhm.
age appropriate things for someone who, if they were doing these things at an age appropriate level. So, like, the normal age to move in with somebody is your, I don't know, what, 20s?
Yeah, you would
Those
think.
are average things to start experimenting in your 20s. Like, they're just doing it at 14, 15, 13, which is a weird trying thing to grasp. Because, like, I was trying to figure that same thing out because I agree. It was like, what if you do it all now what? But they really are in support of their parents, behaving like they're in their 20s at this point.
Yeah. It's weird. They're being treated like adults, but also not really. Like, obviously you guys are just kids, but in this facet you're adults. In your sex life you're an adult. And I'm not saying that you need to shame your kids about sex or that we can't have open discussions as a family. Obviously we have a baby. It's a reality of what happened. But I just think the casualness of it and the lack of even any kind of concern about consequences is bizarre, that she's just so flippant in front of her parents when she's literally holding her infant baby that she had as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, there's no plan to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah. Which stresses me right out. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And
the
I feel
last
like I've been
thing.
oh, are we talking about dad? Or is that the
Oh
last thing that
yeah,
you have?
no, yeah, you can go first though, because I have dad and mom, I have mixed emotions on. But what else do you
Yeah.
have before we get to chaos?
Well, I was just saying that well, I was just saying that for Hunter's dad, who didn't come to the hospital and said, "Oh, that's awesome. Send me a picture." And then immediately Hunter goes to bed in a depression nap. I did think that was sad, and I feel like I've been a bit of a contrarian talking about dad, because I did see online in present day that he's trying to get custody of Hunter and there's like an ongoing battle. And so maybe there's things that we aren't seeing on the show. And maybe after the cameras were gone, maybe Hunter's dad did show up to the hospital. I would really like to believe that, but there's no hint of it obviously on the show. This is just like my separate side script that I'm writing. Because even if you are not supporting the pregnancy, not supporting your child in middle school having a sexual relationship, which I understand, you still probably should be there. Your child just had a child. He is a minor. You want to have custody of him. You want to have a relationship with him. He just went through a major event in his life. This is your grandchild. I think it's weird to not show up if you're invited.
So that I do agree. But then I kind of was thinking on what we do know from the outside, right? Like the him trying to get custody in modern time or whatever. So we know Hunter's mom and dad do not get along. They don't co-parent well. They have, we can assume, very poor
Mhm.
communication, if any. So I find it hard to believe that it was communicated to the dad what the C-section date was, what time. Like I can see
Mm.
that being like, hey, the baby was born today, not a hey, on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we're gonna go in, Bella's gonna be induced, and we're gonna have the baby. I could see that dynamic again to try to paint him in a negative light, not telling him until it's happening, and then being like, you're invited to come meet them. And he has a wife, he has other children, and it isn't always possible to just be like, hey, I gotta leave right now to go see this baby
Mhm.
if you don't know in advance. I can understand like, hey, if it was a natural labor, you just don't know, but I can't see them communicating that to him. And I think that might, I'm hoping that that would be part of it. But my other thought is I don't know if Hunter's the one that texted him. I have a sneaking suspicion that the mom did.
Oh.
Because if you look at the episode when all these texts are going through, his mom's the one holding the phone. His mom's the one who pulls the other mom over and like, hey, look at this response. Like, and it wasn't him saying, I'm not coming. It was literally, hey, show me a picture. That's great.
That's true.
And Hunter wasn't holding the phone. Like maybe he's like, hey, can you text my dad that we had the baby? But I don't know. I there's a little part of me that feels like the mom was the one sending those messages because she's the one that got the response. She's the one that made it this a whole big deal. Like I also think if I was that mom and then my son was like, hey, can you text my dad saying that the baby was born? And I was like, sure, send it out. And there was a response of, I can't come. I don't know if I would make it a whole ordeal in that moment. Like, this is a beautiful moment. The baby was just born. Like, why do we have to turn it into this big thing? And next thing you know, they're like, we're gonna tell him that we can't send him a picture because until you guys post pictures. Like that's not helping
You
the
don't
situation.
Yeah, you really don't even need to say that. Also, you could just be like, "Oh, we're gonna send pictures out in a little bit. Like we're taking some right now, or whatever." You don't even have to say we're not gonna send you pictures.
Right. Or do a quick FaceTime and be like, here's the baby. Like
Yeah,
something just doesn't sit well with me for that whole conversation.
that is true. They could have FaceTimed him. I So the only thing is she was 40 weeks pregnant. So if this was any kind of normal situation and dad was involved, he probably should have known when the baby was due and that even be asking about what the plans are and what's going to happen. I don't know how much of like I don't know how much they're communicating though. It seems like things are stressed and things are tense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess maybe a grandfather's not always that clued in.
True, but
But this is a
also
minor that we're talking about. This is not your 23-year-old son having a baby.
yeah. But again, keeping on the minor front, my other thought is none of them are stupid. There is no
Mm,
secret that this is not a good dynamic. If
yeah,
he showed up, I cannot see that them being like, "Oh my god, hi, thank you so much for coming. Come on in." Like it would not have been that response.
that's true. And because Hunter is so young, there probably is not going to be an opportunity when his mother is not present.
So I could also see being like him, I really want to be there, but do I really want to make it worse? Like this is a beautiful moment. I'm not going to make it about me by showing up and having a massive fight blow up. Like I don't
Yep.
know. I just
Mhm.
I it feels too instinct. Like I don't know. I don't know how to word it, but it feels like it was done intentionally with malintent. Like it doesn't feel like this mom was trying to get dad there. It was more of let me try to get my son to not like him more.
Mhm. And I that's how I feel too, and it feels very disingenuous. So I think that's part of why I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of bashing Hunter's dad because it feels to me that we're missing information.
Yeah.
And this is not a typical deadbeat situation where he has not been involved. Like it seems like he was very involved until very recently.
Hmm.
So that makes me think that there's a lot of things going on. Obviously, we don't know the
No.
situation really, but there may be a lot of things going on behind the scenes off camera that we're not privy to that would really change things. And I do feel like things are being held back and it it makes it hard to have a real opinion.
Yeah. And it just every time his mom talks about him, it just really gives bitter ex-girlfriend vibes.
Mhm.
like like she constantly is bringing up like how he left and how he has this new family and blah blah blah. Like every time, I don't know, she just gives me the vibes of like she's bitter, and
Mhm.
that's why she like, doesn't want Hunter to get along with her dad. Because I agree, like we see them even make comments that he was involved up until he found out that Hunter got his girlfriend pregnant, and that's when the shift happened. And I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot happening that we don't know, and it is very manipulative at the moment. But that's just my instinct at the moment.
Agreed. Agreed. I guess we can move on to Mia.
And last but not least,
Yeah, I enjoyed their segment, although it was very frustrating to watch.
I think we should start off with like this is a very impressive young lady.
I know,
I
I'm very
think,
proud of her.
yeah, I think the cards that she was dealt, people
Mhm.
either thrive or they crumble. And she really is thriving for the most part. Like, yes, she is 16 and she's pregnant, but she has had a job for a long time that she does really well at and makes pretty good money for being 16. She is now
Mhm.
in this episode graduating early
A
from
full
school,
year early.
which
Very
is
very smart.
impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
While working, while being pregnant, while dealing with the chaos that is her mother.
Mhm.
Like, I think that she's gonna have this baby and like take it in stride. Like, actually am very impressed with her, and I think she is a very independent and strong young lady that
Mhm.
has worked really hard to get to where she is, and people should recognize that. Regardless that she's pregnant, she's quite impressive.
Agreed. And I think some people would use the pregnancy as an excuse, a reason to not try as hard, to not do as well, to quit things as
Yes.
opposed to push forward and try to do more and try to do better. And I think that that's what she's done with everything. Because you could use the parents separating and her mom being so horrible, she could use that also as reasons to not push forward and get things accomplished that will benefit her life, which ultimately just spites yourself. But I think that's such a common thing that we see is, and it makes sense that people are a product of their circumstances, but I think that Mia sees her circumstances and she's like, I can and will do better. And I think we also need to give Keith some credit because I think that it's so crucial to have a stable adult in your life that you can rely
Yes.
on for structure. And I'm sure he's not perfect, but I do think that we see him being reliable and supportive and providing for her in a way that allows her to succeed.
Yeah, and I think we got a glimpse into that a little bit too this episode where
Mhm.
it wasn't always like this, the dynamic. And Keith kind of at certain point was like, you know what, I've had enough. At the end of the day, what matters is Mia, and we're gonna
Mhm.
focus on that. And he took her away to live with him to allow her to grow and be this confident young woman and thrive and be consistent and put rules and boundaries and teach her. And I think probably her younger years, it wasn't as defined because you had her mom as a stronger influence. And
Yeah.
I don't want to say present because she wasn't, from what we understand, but like around. And I think once Keith kind of was like, you know what, I'm putting my foot down, we're not doing this anymore,
Mhm.
she really was able to blossom. And I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think Keith, I can imagine it was a really hard thing for him to do. Um, but I think he did the right thing for himself and for her.
Yeah. And I mean, we need to remember it's kind of fresh still. They said in one of the previous episodes they've been separated for like 2.5 years. I don't know
Right.
if they're even legally divorced, but
Or if they
they,
were ever legally married. We also don't know that. We just know they were
that's true. We
together.
don't know that. They were together, but for a long time, even if it was on and off, like that is an intense thing to go through.
Yeah.
And Nicole was really making it seem like Mia changed so much when she started living with her dad, but also has nowhere for her daughter to live with her.
Right.
So it's just like this whole episode, like I feel like I already knew how bad Nicole was, but this drove it all home. And it's sad because you see that Mia still wants to be able to have something with her mom. And I think it's kind of a normal dynamic to be, Mom, can you help me with this? Mom, can we do this together? You know, whatever, especially for a
Yeah.
teenager to be asking her mom to come do her makeup for her graduation. That is still it, a level of expectation and trust that I think most people would not have in Nicole at this point. I mean, I guess she could have just done it herself if her mom didn't show up, but she did show up and she was immediately rude to Jesse and then is packing on the makeup, just putting on way too much after Mia said that she wanted a light look. And I just think, it's so clear from how Nicole acts that she doesn't care what Mia wants, doesn't care what she thinks, and she's just doing whatever she wants and thinks. And she seems to have no regard for Jesse.
Yeah. And I do say, like, I am proud of Jesse also how he behaved. I thought it was also really cute because
Mhm.
unfortunately, Mia did start getting upset. And
Mm.
when Nicole kicked him off the bed, he like went into the room because he's like, you know what, this is not the time or place to like fight about it, whatever. Not super
True.
thrilled that he was texting Mia pissy about it, but that is also age appropriate of like, I'm gonna text about it because I don't want to say it out loud. Probably not his best choice, but I see it. But then once Mia
Mhm.
started getting upset, like that guy was in the doorway, like you're not gonna sit there and cry and have no one there for you. Like he was like, nope, gonna keep an eye on her. And all of a sudden, it didn't matter that he was annoyed with mom. He was gonna be present to make sure Mia was okay. Brought her outside of like, hey, let's get calm. Yep, it's gonna be great. I love you. Like, made sure she was ready on time. Like, he really does care about her. And I think that's amazing. And I think
Mhm.
he is very protective of her. And we don't always see that, like, at his age of being like, hey, you know what? Like, Mia is amazing. She's made me a better person, makes me want to be a better person. She doesn't deserve this. Like, she is such an amazing person. He can't wrap his head around someone treating her like that because he would never. And that's what you want for someone wants, is that
Yeah.
expectation of like, no, you deserve better than this, and I will be there for you to make sure of it.
100% agree with all of that. I think that he has a very different dynamic with his mom, thankfully. And you could kind of see that him and Keith were on the same page about what is Nicole? Why is she ruining this? This is supposed to be a nice thing. This is supposed to be a happy day. And she's just bringing this energy immediately and just bringing down the vibes completely. Like Mia was in a great mood.
Yeah.
We didn't have to come in, bark at the boyfriend, say all of your annoying stuff, put on way too much makeup. Like you could just listen to Mia, you could respect what she wants, you could be polite, just bare minimum human interactions she doesn't seem capable of doing. And then for her to have the audacity to ask Keith, not even ask Keith, to kind of tell Keith that she should be staying at the house with them for a few weeks after she has the baby. um 16-year-olds need their mothers when they have a baby, is what she said. Maybe like a real mother who would be helpful. I think she's homeless.
Yeah. My brain did
That's
the same thing. It wasn't
uh,
that she wants to be there for her kid. It's, well, this is a very convenient time for me to find a place to live for a couple weeks.
yeah, for sure. And like the friend is watching the conversation between Mia's two parents and texting Jesse like Mia's parents are fighting. And so it's a bunch of kids in the house and the kids texting each other, parents are fighting. Nicole is so horrendous. And I was getting upset when they were in the talking head and Nicole was saying in front of Mia that that Keith is a horrible person and that she hates him. I just think no matter what happened, that's not okay to say in front of Mia. It's very cruel to say it all. Like at the end of the day, that's the father of your child and you raised her together for 13, 14 years. It's just not okay. And if he was so awful and he's such a terrible person that you hate so much, I would think if I was her that I'd be very motivated to get a job, get an apartment, somewhere that Mia could live with me, maybe get clean off of drugs so that Mia could come live with me and not her awful father. But she's not doing that. She's not taking any steps to provide for Mia and just criticizing the only person that is providing for Mia. I just think it really showed us who Nicole is. She's a horrible, horrible person.
No, and I agree with all of that 100% because it is tough to see Mia's face while she's kind of shitting on Keith. Uh,
It's so
and
bad.
I do like, I want to say I like the way she said it, but she did kind of point out that he, in her perspective, was disrespectful to her in front of her kids all the time. And that's why her kids feel like they can be disrespectful to her now. And first of all, respect is earned. As a child, you learn to respect your parents, but once you lose that, it's hard to get back. And my brain went straight to, was he disrespectful to you, or was he protecting his kids from you and your addiction and your behavior? Because
Th-
it
that's
seems,
definitely it.
yeah, like it seems like anytime she doesn't get her way, it's him being disrespectful and him being an asshole and him blah blah blah. I guarantee you it was never him flat out saying no for no reason. Like, her dad seems like a pretty laid back kind of guy. Like, hey, here are my expectations, pretty upfront. Like, he doesn't seem like
Yeah.
a calculated person. Like, he seems very blue collar, is what it is. And I can't imagine that that is new. I think that's just his personality. And with addiction, you at some point have to draw the line of like, I have to protect my kids from this. And I think
Mhm.
that's exactly what was happening, where she would start freaking out about something or would be high or inconsistent. And when he would bring it up, he was disrespectful. But the reality is, He's just trying to protect his kids.
Yeah. Well, I think Nicole thinks that there was a parental alienation that took place. And my lukewarm take is that I don't believe in parental alienation. I don't think that you really can. I mean, maybe a very, very young child, you could tell, oh, mommy's horrible, mommy's so this, mommy's so that. But a 16-year-old, unless you kidnap her and physically remove her where she's not able to ever see her mother, I just don't see how that's kids know. Teenagers know. They see who shows up, they see who's consistent, they see who cares, who they can go to, who they can turn to. And if you're a present parent, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, and she was 14 when they kind of moved out onto their own, and at 14 she already had a cell phone. She grew up in that generation. There's no You can't tell me that this
Yeah,
kid didn't already have a phone. You can't tell me that you can't communicate with her directly at 14 years old.
right.
And
Definitely.
that's to your point of you can be present without him being there, her being 14.
There are parents that
And
live geographically removed from their kids, live in other countries from their kids that are more consistently involved than Nicole
right.
is. And Nicole has no job and nothing to be doing. So
You have
the
nothing better to do.
right. So you have all the time in the world to be texting, to be calling, FaceTiming, how can I help? And it doesn't seem like Keith is not allowing Mia to see her. She's in his house. She was
Yeah.
trying to hang out and stay at the house while they were all leaving, and I found that to be very sketchy. When she was like, "Oh, I just need to go to the bathroom," like expecting Keith to leave her at the house while he left.
Yeah. No.
That's someone wants to do drugs in my bathroom.
Mhm.
That is she's squatting now. She already asked if she could move in. Now she's trying to squat. And she wanted to come back to the house to get ready because I didn't realize this was what was happening at first, but it does make sense. They were clearly going to drop Mia off because for the graduation, you have to like do the formation. You have to get there early if you're a graduate. And then the family comes later on in the day for the actual ceremony. So they were leaving and then they were going to come back. Jesse probably went to his house with his mother. They got ready. Jesse put on a fresh white t shirt and then they went to the graduation later. And Nicole had the audacity to want to bring her clothes and get ready at Keith's house. Mia's not there. Mia's at the graduation, figuring out where she goes in line, practicing to sit and stand. So you don't need to be here because Mia isn't here. So
Mhm.
why don't you get ready at your because you're homeless.
And yeah, no, I did the same thing because when she was getting ready, I'm like, why is Jesse in sweatpants? I was like, I'm so mad. And then, like, towards the end, they were like, okay, we're gonna go drop off. I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. I'm so sorry for
Right.
judging you.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, wow, everyone kinda looks pretty slummy for
Uh,
going
I
to
did the same thing.
graduation."
I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, no, but it makes sense that she had to get there early.
Yeah, no, it did. Because God, I completely forgot as well. So,
Mhm.
but I do think I love that Jesse and his mom showed up. They were excited. They were proud of her. Her dad
Yeah.
was there, like just just grinning ear to ear. Like all three of them were sitting there, so excited, so proud of her. Like she saw them, she got so excited. Like they
Yeah.
shared all the same feelings of
Mhm.
being there for her. It was her day. Look at her go. And there was someone missing. And
Mhm.
I wanted to chuck my phone at the wall because you got there. You saw her. You clearly have your stuff to get ready. And Nicole
Mhm.
didn't show up.
Nope. And that's glaringly obvious. Glaringly obvious to Mia that you're not there.
Hmm.
And that would be pretty hurtful. It's not like you have some conflict that you can't get out of. You're not on a business trip. You're not having surgery. You're not doing anything. You're running the streets, doing drugs, doing whatever, and choosing that over your daughter, even though you know that this is a big day and that she really did want you to be present. So this is also why I will never believe in parental alienation of a teenager. It's not possible. She sees who's here and she sees who's not here. And they didn't have to sit together. Like if Nicole was like,
Yes.
"Oh, me and Keith aren't getting along." You're in a stadium.
Go
You
sit
could sit
somewhere
somewhere else.
else.
And
Mhm.
then you text her and say, "Oh, I'm sitting on this side," or you wave at her. Like it's not that big of a thing. But there
Yeah.
was plenty of spaces that she did not have to sit with them. And they
No,
could have even worked
completely
that out
agree.
beforehand. You know how many divorced parents came to high school graduations and didn't sit together or did sit together? You suck it up or you don't, but that doesn't give you an excuse not to go when you have nothing else to do.
No, she
I don't
got in
know.
her car, she got a little too high, and she's probably sitting in a
Mm.
parking lot somewhere and not even realizing it's time to be somewhere.
Oh my gosh, we forgot. She probably had car troubles.
You're right. It she that's definitely what
That car's
happened.
very unreliable. Mhm. She probably couldn't even use her phone because she was under the hood, tinkering away with that car, just trying to get to the graduation on time. But you can't send a message or anything,
No.
obviously.
No.
No,
Oh
no,
god.
because your hands are covered in oil and lubricant, windshield wiper fluid, everywhere. I just think that that's probably going to be what she says later. Oh, I had car trouble.
But you know what? There's a
And
little
now,
part of me that's glad she wasn't there. Not because I do wish she was because Mia wanted her there and like it's just another letdown. But I Nicole so far that we've seen and we can infer every time she goes, she takes the attention away, she causes a problem. Even if she's not
mm,
causing problem, she creates stress for Mia because of the anxiety of okay, now what's gonna happen. Yes,
right.
it was really sad, and yes, I my heart kind of broke watching her facial expression talking about it. But like, I think in the grand scheme of things, it actually was better that she wasn't there because she was surrounded by people who truly want to be there, that love her, that support her, that are proud of her, that it today's going to be about her and not everything else. And like her even not being there became about her not being there. Like
Exactly.
I I kind of happy because I think it would have caused a bigger issue if she was there, which is sad.
Well, she would have been upset about something. She would have gotten in a fight with Keith or AK or Jesse or made some comment at Mia that just turned the whole day around and made it upsetting and a lot of high conflict. So it is probably better that she's not involved. And I would say, in general, a toxic, dramatic person like that, that's so inconsistent, that's so unreliable, it's better if they're completely absent. The in and out is tough because it's a sometimes presence of this very high conflict person that may show up, may not show up, but you have to invite her or she'll be really mad that she's not invited. There's just no
Mhm.
winning with her and it's always a problem.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. And AK would be talking smack with us too because that's what she likes to do. She likes to talk smack about Nicole.
Also true. Which would actually I think would be a really fun time.
Yeah, I do like her a lot. I feel like she would kick my ass if push came to shove, but I
Oh
I
yeah.
like her. Yeah, she's tough. She's a mama bear. Like Nana Sue thinks she's a mama bear. I think AK is a mama bear.
Because AK would do it in like a very legal way. Like she would just chew
Mhm.
you out and spit you back.
Right.
Like
Right.
would basically like here's the thing, here's the reality, lay it all out. If you can't handle it, that's like a you problem. Like
Right.
we're just gonna take that approach, which is what you want, right? Like you don't want your parent going to your graduation worried about she's gonna get arrested. Like
Yeah, I don't think AK is gonna get arrested. I think she would just like mow Nicole over with her comments and her fair criticisms.
yeah.
Like, why are you treating your kid like this? Why are you treating my kid like this? Why are you treating the father of your kid like this? It just doesn't, none of it's necessary. It's all inappropriate. Like, you're being a bad mom. And she would chew her out. And I wouldn't hate to watch it because I think it's all very deserved.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Pretty good
Well, do you
episode.
Oh, I do. And I'm excited about the next one because the precursor was very interesting. Very concerning, but I think it'll be interesting. Do you have any final comments for this episode on our unexpected support team?
I wish Isabella was in it, and I'm hoping that we're gonna have a Isabella heavy episode next week because I did miss them, and I missed
I
Paw
missed
Paw.
them too, but I gotta say, when I was thinking about it, we have seen a lot of them, but we haven't seen a lot of
Mhm.
things happen. Like we've really only
Yeah,
seen like a week and a half at max.
it's true. But I wanna get to the baby and the birth and see how we do when we actually have the physical child in hand, because I do
True.
feel like while they're still pregnant, it's all a lot of hypotheticals.
Yeah,
Like, when the couple's not really together or they're kind of together, it's more interesting after the baby's born, I think.
I'd agree with that.
Okay, how about you? Any final
Um,
summations?
just that Mia's the best. I think she's my favorite right now. I love her.
I think she's
she's just
winning unexpected.
she's such an impressive and committed young lady, and yeah, as of right now she's my top, but
She
that's
kinda
just as of this
reminds me
episode.
of Macy from Teen Mom, from, like,
Kind
16 and
of.
Pregnant. Like, we're just like, this was never gonna stop her, and
Yeah,
it was always gonna be fine.
it was always going to be fine.
Yeah. That's how it kinda feels. Like, this kid
I
will
can
be
get on board with
handled.
that. Yeah, like
I'm
it's
not
going to
really
be all
worried about
right.
that. Yeah. These other ones, I don't know. Um, but I think that regardless of what happened, Mia would make things happen for this kid, and I'm not super concerned about it. It's a lot of hard work though, but I think she's willing to actually do the hard work.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
But I think that's it. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
perfect.
Well, we'll pick back up here next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Until next time.